Hi, everyone. Hi, it's Mitch from Pick Dogs. I got Charles Ormsby with you from Spread Knowledge. Broke out his computer software yesterday on the show. 1,200 people watched it here on YouTube. I know another 200 people watched it on Twitter, and I'm going to guess a bunch watched it on Facebook as well. So I'm going to have him on all week, like you said, and probably even beyond that. I think he enjoyed being on. I don't think he has a ton of live online experience, and we got live breathing bodies that care. So how did we do yesterday on that software? I know West Virginia was an A-plus pick at minus 133. The line eventually dropped to a pick 'em, and we got him at minus 110. I'm going to guess that's A++. Way more value at minus 110 than 133. Doesn't matter how you slice it. Still comes up a winner. What was our other A-plus pick? I don't remember.
Was there another A plus yesterday?
I'm not sure, but I know it was West Virginia was definitely one of them.
I had 4 basketball picks for the NBA.
How did we do yesterday in basketball?
I think those went 1 and 3.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Well,
but they were. I mean, the Bulls scored a basket with a few seconds left, kind of ruined us there. We would have went 2 and 2, but yeah, it was 1 and 3. We only got the Nuggets, but in truth, we one of the tasks that we're actually implementing now is to incorporate injuries into the model. And I know the Celtics were kind of beat up a little bit yesterday, so that's something that we're going to solve probably this month by incorporating some injury updates and things, and perhaps putting kind of like a red box with like a white cross in it, like you would see in fantasy for an injured player next to the letter grade. So look for that shortly.
he's asking what was the grade on the bowl game, because I had Miami of Ohio. They covered. I beat the computer. So the computer has a better record over the long haul. So we got a lot bigger schedule today. At what time today was the computer software done generating the picks?
So it depends when the lines were released, but a lot of the NBA games today were released overnight. So I know a good chunk of them were available this morning, and that's kind of all I was following. I wasn't following any of the other lines. But did you notice anything?
No, I didn't. I haven't really had a chance to look. I was on the golf course. We had about 35 to 40 mile an hour winds out there, so I actually felt like I did something today. It was, one of the things also that we've talked about yesterday was the pricing of this thing at $50, and most people say it's $1 a day or $1.50 a day. It's a no-brainer, but I want to remind everybody that this is a introductory pricing, and I don't want to sit here sounding like Home Shopping Network, an infomercial, or like salesy, or anything like that. But I am going to say, and I'm just going to be honest about it, that this is the lowest price you're ever going to see on this thing. Because after we got off the show, Charles was talking about like how he's raising the price to $79.99 like soon, right? It's soon, and then like $24.99 a week or something like that if you want the weekly. So I would say, you still, if you do the free trial, you get the 7 days, and then you stay on for, on the monthly, you still get the $49 whatever a month at the software, and you get a pick on every game, right? So it's very much a deal. You want to start digging into the games for today and see what we have on the board?
Yeah, certainly.
You're going to share your screen with us, and I will let you take center stage here, and we'll fire away with some questions. So here's what people are saying. Ben Shepard got the game right after the game was over. Congratulations, man. He found a book that lets him pick games after the game is already over. I've never lost a game where I've got to give out my pick after the game is over. They always say, also my favorite comments, besides, I told you so, thank me later, The other one that I always think is a good one is the other one is it's like that was easy, like West Virginia. That was easy. It's always an easy winner after the game is over, right? It's like it wasn't an easy winner before the game was over. You know, that's for damn sure. But let's get to let's see if we have any other questions here about the software before we get rolling. We know the A+ pick won. I guess we can look at the other picks from yesterday as well. I know that North Carolina A&T was winning when I was watching NHL games. Yeah, we had a lot of NHL games on the morning show where the guys were kind of like against each other on it. So, is there tennis on this thing too?
Yeah, we try to cover tennis. It's some of our weaker data, but we do cover it.
Okay, so let's get to it here. So here we are. I see a D game there. So when you see a D, that's just something where you just say, you know what, I'm not gonna bet this game, right? Is that what that means?
Yeah, it usually means one of two things from our perspective. Either the data is pretty weak and it's just not enough to make a grade of any kind, or it's just been a very non-profitable pick or has had high negative profitability.
Negative profitability, bad. I can figure out.
So let's see. What do we want to?
So if you want to sign up, you can use the link that's right there. I'm going to post it in the on all these things on our YouTube, in the chat. I'll post it in the description, and I will do it on the Facebook groups as well. So you start going through the games and stuff, and I'll do some of this admin work while you're talking about the games and what you see. How's that sound? So give me like a minute to do all this stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So what do we see on the board here?
Trying to bring up the A picks from yesterday. Just
okay.
Take a quick look at them. Curious.
What is it showing on the screen now?
So it's the entire pick history for basically the last like 30 days.
And then you're going to try and sort this. You can filter it? Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, I was trying to filter it, but for some reason the filters aren't coming up. Not sure why.
The red is the games that lost, and the green is the games that won. So when I'm looking here just at the front of this page, right, and this is random, I'm going to guess, I see that an A1, a B1, two Cs won, a C+ lost, a C lost, a B lost, a D won, two Ds won. But that's tennis. Two Ds won, two Ds lost, so that's 50-50. There's another page. Is this yesterday?
It's recent, I think, as of today.
So here we go, an A pick. Once again, the only A pick on the board is the winner. B pick, 1-1. The D picks kind of offsetting each other again. So just not a lot of data there to work with, but the most important thing here that we see is that the A pick won and that the B picks were just 1-1 against each other, 1-1. And I guess that's going to happen. I'm sure there are other days where it goes, both B. There's an A+ that lost and a B that lost, a B+ that lost, a B that won. This is everything. This is today or yesterday?
It's I believe it's the latest, like the last graded. So it's like updating as of today.
Wow. Is this consistent with what everybody is seeing? Can it do first period over-unders in NHL?
We have the data. We just don't display it yet. We certainly could.
So it's something that is in the next version. Yeah, the reason why the price is $49.99 and the other guys charge $279.99 or $1,500 a month is because it's still in the early stages. So while you're getting a discount, it's kind of like he's giving you the discount so he can also squeeze some information out from you as to what he can do to improve his product. So it's
a process.
It's a scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type situation here. So these longer term ones, like the Packers and the Ravens, do these ever move?
Yeah, they do. As the line changes or the price changes, we'll rerun the trends and essentially assign it a new grade if needed.
Here we go. I signed up and got the top picks email, mostly with tennis and a couple basketball picks. Should we bet the basketball over the tennis since it's program you feel is better?
I think truthfully they're both they're both good picks if they're A's. They're usually profitable. I would say tennis and basketball probably are some of our better performing sports when you compare it to like soccer or something like that. But as always, there's some degree of vetting on your own that's really required to make sure that, kind of there's no, serious, news media or something coming out of that kind of match that would indicate, something contrary to what our machines were saying.
Yeah, if you're watching on Facebook, if you look in the descriptions, I'm posting the link if you didn't get a chance to get it. So it's clickable. You can see the link on the screen. You use that discount code Mitch, you get a free week. You do have to enter your credit card when you register, but nothing is charged to it until you have an actual subscription. And it's not like you don't retain this credit card info on site, right? It's done at like a processor, like Stripe or something, right? Where they encode and believe me, it's a lot safer than a lot of these, probably some of the online purchases you make. That's for sure.
We use Stripe.
Stripe is super reputable.
So do you want to take a look at some of the NHL games to start off?
Let's go over the NHL because this is we have a couple guys on the show. We call them the Puck Dogs. And we have them on every morning when there's a big NHL card. And today there was 12 NHL games. And there was some games with some tighter lines. And the guys, sometimes the Puck Dogs disagree on that.
So just kind of glancing through it. So I clicked on
here's
top.
Nick does not have a credit card. Is there any other ways he can pay?
That's a tough one.
No, I agree with you. PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, anything?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we have a business PayPal that we could use for that. I mean, is PayPal something that works? I
don't know. We could ask him. I'm not really sure. I struggle with this stuff myself. I've been doing this for 12 years. I struggle with it. It's like, you can't, you can't take Western Union, It's like, I wish it was that easy, right?
Right. So I clicked on top picks, right? If the person, if you guys have payment issues, certainly just email our support email and I'll probably figure something out that we can work with you. But if you look here, so I went to top picks right here, NHL's filtered, right? So you can see the past performance, right? So the A's are 7-4, while the B pluses are kind of middling at 135 and 132.
Is this subscription auto renew?
It does, and we send you a reminder.
So it's not out of the blue. It does auto renew, but it tells you that's going to happen. Before.
Yeah, we send a reminder email 2 or 3 days before from Stripe, just warning you that you're going to get charged. We don't want to charge you, and if for whatever reason you don't want to use it, of course, we don't want to charge you if you're not using it.
Refund, no problem. You just contact support.
Right. So there's 10 NHL picks kind of at the top here that are B pluses, right? So B plus indicates that it's a pick that has been profitable in the past and really requires a good degree of additional research to make sure that the pick's worth backing, right? Something that has true value, right? So if we look at the top here, kind of what you see is you see teams getting a lot of points, right? And you also see some underdogs as well, at least some friendly pricing. And that's primarily because those are the things that produce value, right? So I don't know if there's any of these that stick out that you might want to mention that you guys kind of went back and forth on earlier today. But these are the top 10 NHL picks for the day. Is there
what,
one or two?
What does it say in the Devils game against the Islanders? I took the Devils. The Puck Dogs had the Islanders.
It's a little slow here coming up. So we went, just while that page kind of loads, these are the data points that we build, right? The 4,000 different data points. So we display about 100 of them here to kind of give you a flavor for how we build these grades. And you can also see the contrarian side of those trends as well, right? By clicking on this other conflicting trends tab that shows you kind of the opposite side of the pick. Anyway, now that this is loaded, you can kind of see. You can see start at the top. You can see the Islanders to win is 55%, which is about consistent with the price, right? So, I don't know that there's a ton of value there, but, if you looks like a lot of kind of middling picks. Let's look at the grades for a second. B, C+, B, B, C, a lot of B's and C's. Doesn't look like we kind of really see a whole lot of value here. Secondly, one of the things I like to look at is the profit, right? So even though the New Jersey Devils to win is only assigned a grade of a B, it's 6-4 in its last 10 games essentially, with a profit of nearly 6 units, right? Which is pretty good. So they probably won some games as underdogs, right? So you can see them. I guess they're home dogs again here.
Well, they've been pretty good recently, and that's why the Puck Dogs they're not buying in. So I'm on my own here.
So you're on the Islanders, huh?
No, I'm on the Devils.
Oh, you're on the Devils? Got it.
I know nothing about hockey. What I used to do when they used to ask me hockey on the live show is I used to flip a coin. But then instead now I just got the Puck Dogs.
There you go. Take a little deeper look to see what we have down here. You can see kind of a lot of the trends kind of seem to align more closely with the Islanders. So maybe that's why the Puck Dogs are kind of on that side. But anyway, how about any of these other picks? Any of them stand out or worth kind of mentioning?
How about Pittsburgh? The Puck Dogs like the other side of that one. They like Vegas.
Yeah, this game has a little bit more color to it, it looks like. So you see the Penguins under 6 here have a lot of value. So we're giving them a 60% chance for the Penguins to go under, essentially. And that's kind of just looking primarily at the Penguins with a slight kind of leaning into the performance against the opponent as well. That's what that is. So, and then additionally, you have the Penguins spread, which probably has not a friendly price maybe, but that has a high percentage to win for a spread, right? 58%. Probably the price is kind of not that good on that one. But if we scroll down a little bit, see the letters. Looks like the machines are on the side of the Penguins here. Is that your side?
I think the Puck Dogs took Vegas, but the Penguins are a big dog, so I could see if it's something picking on value with a team that has a 7-3 record, right? I mean, both teams are 7-3, and you're getting plus 146 on your money on Pittsburgh, and you're minus 143 on Vegas with the 7-3 record as well. I could understand how the computer got there.
Yeah, it kind of validates what you're thinking a little bit, right?
Yep. Which I think is part of the feature of the software, is that you kind of can use it along with your own picks. It would be hard on a day like Saturday where there's 104 college basketball games to dig into every single game, especially since, so many of them have a noontime Eastern start it would be quite a chore to get there. So Mike Immelman is saying he noticed that some of the A plus only had a 19% chance, and the AB were around 60 to 80% chance. Is this something you take into consideration before you take the A plus pick?
Yeah, in that situation, the price should be like plus 500 or something, right? Something that would provide enough value to such a low predicted win percentage. Was it an underdog? Do we know?
I'm not sure. He wasn't that specific.
Yeah, I would think it would be an underdog because otherwise there would be very little value with that, right?
Yep. So Jonathan Smith asked this question that we went over yesterday. And yes, if you buy the $49.99, you are never subject to a price increase as long as you keep your subscription active. So if you let your subscription lapse for a couple months, you come back, the price is whatever the current price is. But if you buy it, during this trial, it's $49.99 for as long as you keep it. If it's if it lapses because of a credit card issue or something, like your credit card expired, and you put in a new credit card and get it right active, I'm sure these guys will fix it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not like, you can't like at the end of football season say, well, I paid $49 last month for football season. Yeah, I mean, I paid $400 for my first car also. I don't think I could get much for that right now. So we're looking now at more hockey. There's a lot of good value picks right here on the board. We got a few puck line here with the Capitals, who are a pretty heavy favorite, minus 300 range straight up. I know the puck dogs both like the Caps today against Ottawa, and Ottawa's just been absolutely terrible. So we can take a look at this one. I'd like to see what it says about Ottawa, who the puck dogs just hate. They hate the Senators. It's like, we don't really hate anybody. We just dislike them, except for the Senators. We hate them.
Is that right?
I don't know. I like to say it.
Yeah, so you got the Capitals at heavy favorites here, 76% chance to win.
But look at the line on it, and I think that's the issue, the minus 324. It's a lot outside of people's comfort zone.
Yeah. And this is even probably a bad price, right? The minus 1.5 because they're such heavy favorites.
That's probably closer.
Yeah. So it looks
Otto,
like
even at the plus 228, this hates it.
Yeah, it does not like it. No value there.
Ryan is saying that the computer is offering interesting insight. That's why we have him on. I thought it was interesting. I'm telling you, I wanted to bust his balls a lot on this show, but I haven't even got the opportunity because I find it so interesting myself, which is weird. Because, let's face it, I just sit around and watch sports all day.
So the only value that I see, according to the letter grades, is the Capitals minus 1.5 puck line, right, at a B+. It looks like the overs and unders are highly avoidable, right? Although the overs kind of seem to have good profit, for sure. You can see that the collective profit is almost 12 units, right, on a 1-unit bet in the last 20 games. If you sum up, this profit here with the profit for the Capitals and the over against the total, I guess. So that's a lot of profit, but for whatever reason, the machines don't like it. It could be,
they don't like it because it's 6.5. It's a big number.
It's high. It's probably due for a regression, right? So the machines are able to see regressions much better than human beings can, right? So the machines are pretty good at predicting regressions. So I think that's part of the reason why you're going to see here, like, this is avoidable. In addition to the fact that it's just a high total.
So, like, speaking of regressions, I think that, we have in the NBA tonight the Pistons against the Cavaliers. And, what we have are two bad teams, right? Two horrible teams. And the Cavaliers, they've been feast or famine. Either they string together 2 or 3 wins or they don't win for a month. And I think, the Pistons, they don't win on the road no matter what, and they've got 5 wins on the road this season, 5-14. And how does the computer look at something like that in the NBA?
Yeah, so I mean, the performance as a road team or as a home team is analyzed with several hundred trends per each, right? So, like if you look, I'll show you, for example, if we go back to the top picks and we just pick any one of these games at random, right? So if you look at each of these data points at the top, you can take each one of them and kind of place them in the context of being a visiting team or being a home team. And so we reuse some of these data points for the purpose of like location analysis, right? Like how they perform as a home team, as an underdog, right? After a point spread win type of thing, which is this first data point here, right? We want to look at that from a bunch of different angles, not just overall. So, it's kind of a long answer to saying like every data point that we have, we look at both in the context overall, but also location specific and several other different context areas.
Can we put up NBA on here?
Yeah.
I want to see that Cavaliers or the Raptors, either one of those, or even the Lakers. Who have been, just a disaster against the spread recently. Kent State minus 218 was an A+. So the Raptors are a B+. So Van Vliet is the wild card there, as to is he going to play. But at minus 145, that's actually cheap. See, for me, it's like just seeing that it's minus 145, that right in my face, that helps.
This is one of those ones where
-3.
you would definitely benefit from some information, from some like injury information here.
Yeah,
I think because the Raptors, like we kind of got burnt on the Celtics yesterday because some key players were out, and we're going to fix that ASAP by incorporating some injury info right here on the screen, so you can kind of scroll over and see it. But this is one that you definitely would want to check because the Raptors, I know, have had some key players out, and even though they have a huge home court advantage here, it's worth seeing who's playing. And you can see here generally they're kind of trending up, right? So just by following kind of the trend, they had a big upset here that they won. You can see this is when they beat the Celtics. You can see how that shoots out above the dot right before it. You can tell that that's a big kind of upset win for that pick, which is kind of cool. But what other ones did you want to look at here? The Lakers, heavy favorites. Oh man.
Yeah, they're 15-point favorites, but that's money line. How do they look on the spread? Because they've been so bad against the spread recently, especially in similar spots.
Let's take a look.
Where they're big double digit.
So obviously,
thanks to everyone that's joining us for these shows. Be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to try out the software, it's a free 7-day trial. I posted the link in both the Facebook groups, plus in the description of this video, and I'll also post it in the comments as well. I'll do it a few times. Oops, that was not it. That was the title of the show. That does not help us. But I'll get it up there. I'll put it in the comments. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So it looks like the Lakers spread has neutral value, no value. Obviously the machines see some value against the Knicks even at such a bad price. What that means is, obviously you probably never take it at that price because it's just too bad. But there might be a hundredth of a point, or maybe a couple hundredths of a point of value on that price. You can see it kind of likes both the Lakers over and the Lakers under. That's kind of a unique situation. You don't see that too often. I can't tell you exactly what that means really, but that's probably another good place where you'd want to kind of explore further and kind of see how the Lakers have performed kind of more specifically to the recent results. So I'll just show you like kind of something a little bit more advanced that I'm not even sure if folks are using yet or where they are with these features. But basically, I scroll down to the bottom here, and you can choose to toggle based on the pick type, right? So I clicked over under. You can see some basic line movements, right? So you can see the line started kind of near 221, went down a little bit, and then has recently shot up. You can kind of see how it's moved. Some other additional line highlights here as to how it's moving, and then these are the recent results for the totals for both teams, for the Knicks and Lakers respectively, against the total, right? And then the head-to-head comparison as well. So you can see. Yeah.
I've known a few people over the years that are might or might not be involved in the bookmaking business, like as booking. I said it. All right, dirty word. I said it. I've met a bookie before. Right, all right, I'm guilty. They almost to a person. I would say man, but I also know women who have been bookies. But to a person, they tell me that they know they're in trouble as a book, and they know they're in a spot where, because I always ask them, at what point do you lay off your action? At what point do you feel uncomfortable on the side? And they always tell me this, and they all have answered me the exact same way. It's when someone comes in and they bet big, they're a big bettor, and they come in and they start betting NBA totals. So anything like that, your software that you see, we're looking at NBA totals here, and it seems to be pretty high. Is there something where those are just maybe the more vulnerable bets out there as far as predictability?
I think it depends based on the sport. In the context of NBA, certainly seems like there's been an explosion of scoring in the last few years that has led to
rule changes.
Yeah,
that 15 seconds from the shot clock from making it 24 to 15 in those certain situations where it's not always a full reset to the 24 is just more possessions, right? And more you have to shoot, so you're going to get more scoring. Also, teams moving to the Warrior system of throwing up the three-pointer as opposed to the Pistons, Dennis Rodman and of hammering your opponent with defense. It's just a different way of playing the game.
Yeah, regarding the total, one kind of insight that I see from this, if you look at the head-to-head, right, the over is 6-2 in the last 8, right? If I'm looking at this head-to-head comparison at the bottom, which kind of tells me that in situations where I just collapsed it on us, but there's this bottom kind of control, which kind of tells me that when these two teams get together, they tend to score a lot of points, even with these inflated totals. So
tomorrow we have it looks like 9 NBA games, but right now only lines are out early. So the software will continuously run because these lines likely won't come out until the morning. There might be a late line on some of them, but as of right now, only 4 of the games have lines on tomorrow's games. So the software will probably be a little later producing those picks. Safe to say.
Yeah, it's as soon as we get them, it usually takes 1 to 2 hours to get the letter grades built and all the kind of the analytics built out. But we're getting better at it every day. That's for sure. Are the Detroit Pistons the game that you kind of like
tonight? No, it's just a mess.
Yeah.
It's just one of those games where you have 2 bad teams, so it's you would think consistency. Usually bad means inconsistent. To me, one of the games that I kind of like that I didn't give out a premium pick was the Phoenix Suns against the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, you can see the money line is the highest rated today for NBA, and the point spread is kind of at the bottom of the B pluses.
The Kings just suck. I mean, they suck.
Yeah.
They're sad. The Suns, I believe, are like getting healthy again.
Yeah, they just beat Portland last week, I think, on the road, right?
Yep, healthy is good. Portland seems to be regressing a little bit.
Yeah, it's true.
They had a little nice run, but now they're kind of pulling back. I like Portland, but I don't like them when they don't win. And I have them, that's for sure.
Those small markets usually have value, you know.
I say the
Portland.
same thing in my videos all the time, my daily videos. Teams like, you know, if you want to find value in the NBA, Orlando and Charlotte are always the places to look.
Right.
You know, you're rarely going to find it with Lakers and Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything else that anyone wants to see out here? What the computer winning percent in a month, we showed that yesterday, that it depends on the rating of the pick. There's different records for each rating.
If you go to the systems and you click all time, so we went to systems, click all time, you can see everything, the entire history, and you can download the pick history too and take a look at it if you want to.
I'll bring us back for a second, just to be human people, since I know what people sign up for. And so we're back. And, you know, once again, I'm Mitch. You guys know me. This is Charles Ormsby. Spread Knowledge is the name of his company. I revealed this on this morning show. I don't think Charles wants me to talk about it, but I don't care. It's my show, so I can say it. He sells his picks for individually at covers for $50 each. He's selling you a month's worth of his entire package of every single pick on the board for $50. I don't know, man. Pretty good deal. I'm sure Covers is going to be real happy that I said that. I guess, does that mean they're not going to be my friends anymore? I don't know. I think that we have a different, believe it or not, same industry but different audience. Like when I look at my crossover audience from Covers, it's not the same people. Covers is like a forum audience. People that like to type in forums, and we're more of a community. More Facebook group, YouTubers, things like that, and just, you know, Covers is like, the thing about Covers is like outside of you, on my show, I mean, how often does Covers have you go out and talk to their people? You know, never, right? So that's the difference. Anyways, I'm not going to put Covers down. I mean, I use Covers. I do. I like it. But I don't use the forum or anything. I use their data, which is their parent company, which has been sold about 5 or 6 times. I actually tried to buy it.
Huh.
You ever try and buy Covers? You ever think about it? I thought about it.
Yeah.
They were owned by like Tribune Corp at the time. Big money.